144, 6, and 0. 144 international goals, more than any player in the history of football. 6, the number of World Cups he scored at, something no one else has ever done. And 0, the number of major trophies Portugal had won in their entire history before Cristiano Ronaldo arrived. Last week, his World Cup story ended in the round of 16, in tears against Spain. And everyone is asking the wrong question. The question isn't whether Portugal will miss Ronaldo. It's this: can the most talented Portuguese squad ever assembled finally become a team, now that the man who defined them for 20 years is walking away? In this video, I'll give you the 5 problems Ronaldo leaves behind. 4 of them Portugal can solve. The 5th is why this is the impossible problem. And it's not what you think. Hit the like button early. If the story doesn't grab you, you can take it back at the end. Deal? Problem number 1, the striker. And here's the twist. This is the easy one. Because at 41, Ronaldo was no longer Portugal's weapon. At this World Cup, he scored 3 goals, 2 of them against Uzbekistan, the weakest team in the group, and 1 from the penalty spot. In fact, that penalty against Croatia was his first knockout stage goal at a World Cup in 6 tournaments. 6. And the error already exists. Remember 2022? When Ronaldo was dropped to the bench against Switzerland, Gonçalo Ramos replaced him and scored a hat-trick. Add João Felix, add Francisco Conceição's speed and chaos. Portugal can replace the number 9. That was never the real problem. Which brings us to what was. Problem number 2, the gravity. Because here's the uncomfortable truth about this World Cup. Ronaldo was no longer Portugal's main weapon, but he was still Portugal's main story. The entire attack was bent around a 41-year-old. Slower transitions, no real pressing, everything funneled toward the legend. And the final match proved it with one brutal statistic. Against Spain, exactly 1 Portugal player put a shot on target all night: Ronaldo. With Bruno, Bernardo, Vitinha, Neves, and Leão on the pitch, the entire attacking output of this golden squad still ran through the 41-year-old. Want more proof it was a choice? Rafael Leão, one of the most dangerous wingers in Europe, didn't start a single match until Game 4. And after the defeat, Portugal's own newspapers said it out loud. O Jogo called the approach one-dimensional and too cautious. Portugal had the players for the future and the emotional structure of the past. That structure leaves with him. But someone has to build the new one, and that leads to problem 3. Problem number 3, the throne. Because Ronaldo doesn't just leave behind a shirt, he leaves behind a throne. The captaincy, the penalties, the free kicks, the right to speak first in the dressing room, the right to be the face of every victory and every defeat. For 20 years, when the game got difficult, Portugal looked at number 7. Now they have to look at each other. So who takes it? Bruno Fernandes has been Portugal's brain for years. Now he may have to become its voice. Rúben Dias commands the defense. Vitinha runs the rhythm. All worthy. And that's exactly the danger. Thrones are never handed over peacefully. Someone has to take it, and everyone else has to accept it. Problem number 4, the standard. This is the one you can't coach. Understand what Ronaldo actually did for this country. Before him, Portugal had never won a major trophy. Not one in over 100 years of trying. With him, the Euro in 2016, the Nations League in 2019, the Nations League again in 2025. 3 titles. Portugal's entire trophy cabinet has his fingerprints on it. He turned a nation of beautiful talents into a nation that expects to win. And that's his heaviest gift. Because now, anything less than winning feels like failure. And that pressure lands on a generation that didn't create it. Vitinha and João Neves won the Champions League together at PSG. Bruno, Bernardo, Dias, elite, all of them. The talent is transferable. The belief that you are supposed to win everything, that was one man's obsession. And obsession doesn't transfer with the armband. Which leaves problem number 5, the impossible one. Ronaldo hasn't actually left. Read the details carefully, because this is where it gets strange. After the Spain defeat, Ronaldo announced his retirement from World Cups, not from the national team. He said the decision about his international future could wait. He didn't want to decide on emotion. 2 days later, Roberto Martinez was gone. And 2 days after that, Portugal announced their new head coach, Jorge Jesus, 71 years old, a 4-year contract all the way through the 2030 World Cup. And here's the detail that changes everything. Jorge Jesus was Ronaldo's coach at Al Nassr. They won the Saudi league together months ago. At his very first press conference, Jesus said it plainly: Cristiano will never be a problem for the national team. As long as he's playing and fit to be selected, I will pick him. Sit with that. Portugal's supposed new era begins with a coach who just came from managing Ronaldo, publicly holding the door open for Ronaldo. Compare it to Argentina. They dread the day Messi leaves, but at least they know the ending is coming. Portugal can't even start their next chapter, because the last one refuses to end. Every camp, every squad announcement, every September window, the same question will hang over this team. Is he coming back? And that is the impossible problem. Not replacing Cristiano Ronaldo, escaping a shadow that is still standing in the doorway. So where does that leave Portugal? Not doomed, let me be precise, exactly the opposite. This might be the deepest squad in the world, a Champions League winning midfield in Vitinha and João Neves, plus Bruno and Bernardo, Diogo Costa in goal, Dias and Nuno Mendes at the back, Leão, Conceição, Ramos, Felix in attack. Portugal doesn't have a talent problem. It has an identity problem. And the next Portugal cannot be anti-Ronaldo. Tearing down the legend is cheap and wrong. It has to be post-Ronaldo, keeping the ambition he created without waiting for the man who created it. For 20 years, Cristiano Ronaldo made Portugal believe they could win anything. Now, for the first time, Portugal must prove they can believe without him. So here's my question for you. Which of the 5 problems is actually the hardest? The throne, the standard, or the shadow in the doorway? And the direct one. If you're Jorge Jesus in September, do you call Ronaldo one more time, or do you finally close the door? Tell me in the comments. And if you want the full breakdown of how Portugal's World Cup actually ended, the night Spain exposed everything, that video is already on the channel.